Now let's talk about some of the resources available to small business owners. I'm sure there are websites, calculators, even government programs that can help navigate the world of equipment financing.
There are tons of resources out there. Let's start with equipment financing calculators. They're super helpful for crunching numbers and comparing different options.
So you can plug in different loan amounts, interest rates, repayment terms,
Hmm,
and see how it all shakes out in terms of your monthly payments.
you got it. There are calculators for loans, leases, even those lease-to-own agreements we talked about. They give you a quick snapshot of the potential costs and benefits of each scenario.
It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket.
Well, almost. But they're definitely helpful tools for understanding the numbers before you start talking to lenders. Then there are websites that compare different lenders and financing options side by side.
So you can quickly see who's offering the best rates, the most flexible terms, and the most competitive fees.
Exactly. They can save you a ton of time and effort by doing that initial research for you. And they often have filters that let you narrow down your search based on your specific needs, like your industry, credit score, or the type of equipment you need.
Like a one-stop shop for equipment financing information.
Exactly. Then there are government resources, which can be incredibly helpful, especially for small businesses. The Small Business Administration, or SBA, is a great place to start.
The SBA, right? Don't they offer loans to small businesses?
They do, but they also offer a ton of information and resources on all aspects of small business financing, including equipment financing. Their website has guides, articles, even webinars to help you understand the different options, eligibility requirements, and the application process.
Like a free consultant for small businesses.
Exactly. And they have programs specifically designed for startups, women-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses. They're really trying to make financing accessible to everyone.
So checking out the SBA's website should be on every small business owner's to-do list.
For sure. And don't forget those industry associations we talked about before. Many of them have resources specifically for equipment financing, like preferred lender lists, educational materials, and even networking opportunities.
Tapping into your industry network can be a great way to find financing that's tailored to your specific needs.
Exactly. And last but not least, consider the value of a good financial advisor.
A financial advisor, isn't that just for people with a lot of money?
Not at all. A financial advisor can be incredibly valuable for any business owner. They can help you assess your financial situation, create a budget, explore financing options, and even negotiate with lenders on your behalf.
So they're like a financial coach helping you make smart decisions and avoid costly mistakes.
Exactly. They can be especially helpful if you're new to running a business or dealing with complex financial situations.
Okay, so we've got calculators, websites, government resources, industry associations, and financial advisors. That's a lot of support.
It is. And it's all designed to help you make smart decisions about equipment financing. Don't hesitate to tap into these resources and use them to your advantage.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, let's talk about some of the potential pitfalls of equipment financing. Because it's not always smooth sailing. There are risks involved, things that can go wrong if you're not careful.
Absolutely. It's important to be aware of those potential pitfalls so you can avoid them. One of the biggest ones is over-leveraging yourself.
Over-leveraging, what does that mean exactly?
It means taking on more debt than you can comfortably handle. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of getting that new equipment and sign on the dotted line without really thinking through the long-term financial consequences.
So you're so focused on getting the equipment right now that you don't stop to think about how you're going to pay for it down the road.
Exactly. And that can cause some serious problems later on. What happens if your revenue drops, interest rates go up, or you have unexpected expenses? Those loan payments can quickly become a huge burden.
So it's crucial to be realistic about your financial situation and only borrow what you can comfortably repay, even if things don't go exactly as planned.
You got it. It's always better to start small and scale up as your business grows. And don't forget those hidden costs we talked about before. Maintenance, repairs, upgrades. Those things add up fast and can strain your cash flow if you're not prepared.
It's not just about the monthly loan payment. It's about the total cost of ownership over the life of that equipment.
Exactly. Another potential pitfall is signing a financing agreement that you don't fully understand.
I know what you mean. All that legal jargon and fine print. It can be overwhelming.
It really can. But it's so important to take the time to read everything carefully and make sure you know exactly what you're agreeing to before you sign.
Especially those hidden fees or penalties that can sneak up on you later.
Absolutely. Pay close attention to the interest rates, repayment terms, late fees, prepayment penalties. All of those details matter.
And if you don't understand something, Don't be afraid to ask for clarification. It's your money, and you have the right to ask questions and make sure you're getting a fair deal.
You're absolutely right. And if the lender isn't willing to answer your questions or work with you, that's a big red flag.
It's like they're hiding something or trying to pressure you into something you're not comfortable with.
Exactly. Reputable lenders will be upfront about their fees and requirements and should be happy to explain things in a way you understand.
Now, another thing we've touched on is the importance of thinking long-term. It's easy to get caught up in the immediate need for equipment, but you have to consider the bigger picture.
That's a really important point. It's essential to think about the equipment's lifespan, its potential for becoming obsolete, and how it fits into your long-term growth plans.
What seems like a great deal today might not be such a great deal a year or two down the road, right?
Exactly. Technology changes rapidly. Industries evolve. You have to consider those factors. Do your research, weigh your options, and make a decision that makes sense for your business, not just for right now, but for the future as well.
Okay, we've talked about over-leveraging understanding agreements and thinking long-term. What about scams and fraud? Are there things small business owners need to watch out for?
Unfortunately, yes. There are scammers out there who target businesses, especially those that might be desperate for financing. They'll promise easy approvals, low interest rates, and fast funding, but these offers are often too good to be true.
So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Exactly. Legitimate lenders don't make unrealistic promises or pressure you into making a quick decision. Be wary of anyone who does that.
What are some other red flags to watch out for? How can you tell if you're dealing with a scammer?
Be suspicious of lenders who demand upfront fees, who aren't transparent about their terms and conditions, or who ask for your personal financial information through unsecured channels.
It's like they're trying to trick you into something or hide something important.
Right. Legitimate lenders are upfront about their fees and are committed to protecting your privacy and security.
So if your gut feeling is telling you something is off, trust your instincts and walk away.
Absolutely. It's better to be safe than sorry. If you're ever unsure about a lender or a financing offer, do your research. Read reviews from other businesses, check them out with the Better Business Bureau. A little due diligence can go a long way.
Great advice. So we've covered the potential pitfalls, the scams to watch out for. But I want to end on a positive note. What advice would you give to small business owners who are considering financing equipment? What are the key things to remember to make this process as smooth and successful as possible?
First and foremost, do your research. Don't just jump at the first offer you get. Take your time to really understand the different types of financing, the pros and cons of each, and find lenders who specialize in your industry or type of equipment. Knowledge is power in the equipment financing world. The more you know, the better decisions you'll make. But don't get so bogged down in the details that you lose sight of the big picture.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the prize.
Exactly. What are your business goals? What kind of equipment will help you achieve those goals? Once you have a clear vision of what you need, you can start exploring your financing options with confidence.
Okay, so do your research, have a plan, but don't be afraid to think big.
Absolutely. Don't let financing hold you back from pursuing your dreams. The right equipment can be a game changer for your business, so go out there and make it happen.
Some great advice. I feel like we've covered so much ground in this episode.
We really have.
We've talked about loans, leases, SBA programs, all sorts of alternative financing options. We even got into the nitty-gritty of credit scores and tax implications.
It's been a deep dive for sure.
But before we wrap up entirely, there's one more area I want to touch on that seems to be getting a lot of attention these days. Sustainability.
Yeah, that's a big one. And it's definitely something to consider when you're making equipment financing decisions.
Absolutely. So when we're talking about financing equipment, what does sustainability actually look like?
It's about making responsible choices that take into account the environmental and social impacts of what you're doing. It's about considering the entire life cycle of that equipment, from how it's made to how it's ultimately disposed of.
So it's not just about getting the cheapest or fanciest equipment. It's about choosing equipment that's energy efficient, built to last, maybe even made from recycled materials.
You got it. And it's also about thinking ahead to how you'll dispose of the equipment when you're done with it. How can you minimize waste and make sure those materials are either recycled or disposed of in a responsible way?
It's a much bigger picture approach to equipment financing, considering the environmental impact from beginning to end.
Exactly. And it's becoming increasingly important for businesses. It's not just about doing the right thing ethically, it's also becoming a smart business strategy.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, a lot of governments are introducing stricter environmental regulations. And businesses that don't comply can face fines or even legal action.
Okay, so there's some real consequences for not taking sustainability seriously.
Absolutely. Plus, consumers are becoming more aware of environmental issues. So businesses that aren't seen as sustainable could lose customers.
So sustainability isn't just a feel-good initiative. It's actually good business sense.
It is, and lenders are starting to take notice. Many are offering incentives for businesses that finance sustainable equipment, like lower interest rates or better terms.
Wow, so there can be actual financial benefits to going green.
Exactly. Some lenders are even specializing in sustainable financing, working specifically with businesses that prioritize environmental responsibility.
There's like a whole new category within the lending world.
It is, and it's growing rapidly as sustainability becomes a bigger focus for businesses.
So what can businesses do to incorporate sustainability into their equipment financing decisions? Where do they even begin?
It starts with research. Look for equipment that's energy efficient, durable, made with sustainable materials. There are certifications and labels that can help you identify these products.
So don't just take the vendor's word for it. Look for third-party verification.
Right, and don't be afraid to ask a lot of questions. Talk to the vendors, talk to the manufacturers, talk to other businesses in your industry. See what steps they're taking to prioritize sustainability.
It's like crowdsourcing best practices for making sustainable equipment choices.
Exactly. And when you're talking to lenders, let them know that sustainability is a priority for you. They might have special programs or incentives that can save you money.
So it's not just good for the planet, it can also be good for your bottom line.
Absolutely. And don't forget about what happens to the equipment at the end of its life. Create a plan for how you're going to recycle or dispose of the materials responsibly.
So you're thinking about that full life cycle from the moment you acquire it to the moment you say goodbye.
Exactly. And there are companies out there that specialize in responsible equipment disposal. They can help you make sure those materials are recycled or disposed of properly to minimize any negative environmental impact.
So you're covered on all fronts, from acquisition to disposal, with sustainability in mind.
That's the idea. That's what it means to truly embrace sustainability in the world of equipment financing.
I feel like we've covered so much ground in this deep dive. We've explored so many aspects of equipment financing for small businesses.
We really have.
From understanding the different types of financing and lenders to navigating the application process and managing your finances responsibly. And we even delved into sustainability and how to make environmentally conscious equipment choices. Wow. What a wealth of information.
It's been a great discussion. I hope our listeners are feeling more informed and empowered to make smart decisions about equipment financing.
Me too. And I think the biggest takeaway here is that equipment financing isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It's about finding the right financing option, the right lender, and the right equipment to fit your specific business needs.
Absolutely. And being prepared, doing your research, and not being afraid to ask a lot of questions.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So listeners, go out there and finance that equipment you've been dreaming of. We're confident that armed with the knowledge you've gained from this deep dive, you can make informed decisions and navigate the world of equipment financing with confidence.
And remember, we're always here to help. If you have any questions or need more guidance, please don't hesitate to reach out. Happy financing.
And that's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.